Feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of being a single parent? You are not alone. Welcome to Single Parent Reset. I'm Orla, a life coach for single parents, and each week I'm here to share real tools and grounded mindset shifts to help you feel stronger, steadier, and supported in your single parent journey. To all the new listeners out there, hello and welcome. And to the regular listeners, welcome back. It is always great to have you here. So here we are in January, and I just want to say, I hope for you, no matter what your Christmas looked like, no matter how the festivities went for you, I hope that you found some time for you in it. And if you didn't, and you feel like you have just been through the absolute ringer, that is also okay. This time of year can just feel so exhausting, and you may feel completely depleted at this stage, and that is absolutely fine. You are in the right place today. We are going to be talking about looking ahead this year and actually setting intentions for you. Not talking about resolutions and, let's get fit for the year or anything like that. We're looking at just intentions, small things that you can be doing, changes you can make so that life just feels a little bit more manageable for you as a single parent. Because single parenting, it really does ask so much of us emotionally, mentally, and practically, and you deserve to have some space for you in it all. So today, we are going to look at what small intentions can you set for yourself so that you start having that. So let's take a breath and reset together. At this time of year, everyone is all talking about their New Year's resolutions, thinking about the big changes they want to take and where they want to be this time next year. However, for single parents, life can feel full. And instead of talking about resolutions and big drastic changes, I want to talk about intentions, focusing on small, meaningful shifts that can bring you more peace, confidence, and joy into your daily life. Intentions that are going to help you step into 2026 feeling more grounded and a little bit more in control and less overwhelmed. So the first intention is to practice positive self-talk. This year, really start looking at challenging that inner critic, the one that whispers in your ear when it feels like everything's going wrong and your children are tantruming and it's saying to you, you're not enough. I want you to start becoming aware of this inner critic that you have and replace it with a much kinder voice. Say something reassuring to yourself, something that you would say to a friend. Something like, I'm trying my best and that's enough. And giving yourself this self-compassion. It isn't indulgent or giving yourself a big head or anything like that. It is essential to help you keep yourself buoyed in moments where things are challenging and there's no one else there to tap in to tell you you are doing a great job. And the more that you can practice this intention of having positive self-talk, the more that it will become a natural habit, so that when you start to see those negative thoughts coming in, you can automatically reframe them. And life feels a little bit easier when that voice in your head is a kind, calm, compassionate person rather than your worst enemy. And the next intention is getting clear on your boundaries, setting them, and not only setting them, but sticking to them. Boundaries are something I talk about all the time, but they really are essential when you're parenting alone. And what boundaries actually bring for us as single parents is they bring us freedom. They bring us freedom to have space, to protect our time and our energy. And that is something that is so key and can feel like it's so lacking when you're single parenting. So using boundaries can bring some more freedom for you to have that space. And boundaries, they are not about pushing other people away or being a nasty person. They're about you and protecting your time and energy so you can show up as your best self. So it could be saying no to extra commitments when you know your energy is feeling low from a busy week at work. Or it could be getting really clear on communication boundaries with a co-parent. Whatever it is for you, get really clear on the boundary and be intentional about setting them. You are allowed to use boundaries, and you are also allowed to use them without guilt. And if you are a people pleaser and even the thought of boundaries really, really makes your skin crawl, start small and go from there. The more boundaries you set, the more you'll realise just how much they benefit not just you, but your whole family. Because when your time, energy and space is protected, you're showing up as a much better person for everyone. And moving on to the next intention. And this one is prioritising rest without apology. I want you to hear this. Rest, it is not a reward for finishing your to-do lists. It is a non-negotiable for your well-being. When we feel fatigued or tiredness, this is when things like irritability, negative emotions, and overwhelm can absolutely spike. So this is why it's so important to give yourself permission to rest before you are running on empty. Now, rest is going to look different for absolutely everyone, but figure out what rest looks like for you in those small moments. It could just be a quiet cup of tea, or even picking up the phone to speak to a friend. But know that you are allowed to have this rest. Even if there's so many things in your to-do list that hasn't been done, it is important to give yourself the rest first so that you have the energy to do it. Because when you're rested, you are more present, you're more patient, and everything just feels a lot more manageable. So give yourself the permission to rest this year so that everything can feel a lot less overwhelming and a little bit more manageable. And the next intention for single parents in 2026 is to start asking for and accepting help. So many single parents are guilty of being hyper independent and wear this as an absolute badge of honour of being able to do absolutely everything on their own. But how about 2026 is the year that you start to soften that armour? When you start reaching out to others, be it for playdate swaps or even just a listening ear, you might be so surprised at how many people want to help you, but they just don't know how, or they're assuming that you have it all together. So when you start seeking out and accepting help, it starts to build a strong community around you. And yes, I know it can feel so hard when maybe you're so used to doing everything alone or you just don't want to feel like a burden. But this is one that once you start doing it and start to see the benefit of it and actually the sense of community that you do build through asking for help, you will realize how you feel less overwhelmed and also less lonely. And if you do really struggle with this, I've done lots of episodes about asking for help. So go back through previous episodes and have a look to help you overcome the barriers for asking for help. Because this, if you can get this intention for 2026, it will open up so many doors for you and give you so much more energy, time, and connection that you so deserve. Another intention for 2026, and one that is very close to my heart because I just think it's so important, is creating space for joy. It is so easy for joy to just get to the bottom of your list, to just forget about fun, because there is no room for fun when everyone is pulling you in a million directions and you need to get everything on the list done. But it doesn't need to be really big things or really, really expensive. Joy, it is in the small conscious moments that you take. It could be a dance in the kitchen with your children or making up silly jokes with your children. Life, it can just feel so heavy. And this one, it's so important. It can be these little glimmers of fun that can really help you throughout the day. So instead of looking at all that you have to do, everything that's going wrong, because those things are there, they're going to be there no matter what, seek out little moments where you can just have a little laugh, a little bit of joy, because life, I mean, it is for living. And let's live it in a way that can feel a little bit lighter and a little bit more fun in amongst all the chaos. And the last intention that I want to share with you for 2026 is focusing on what you can't control. When you're a single parent, it really can bring moments where everything just feels so uncertain, be it financial challenges or shifting co-parenting dynamics and just all of the emotions that come with all of these things. This year, place your energy where it counts. Your routines, your mindset, and your reactions. Let go of what sits beyond your reach and notice how much lighter you feel when you do this. Because when you focus on the controllables, you regain a sense of agency and calm. So in 2026, when things start to feel a bit much, try this intention of just asking yourself, what is in my control and what is out of my control? And from there, you can focus on what matters, which is what is in your control, and let go of what doesn't. So there are some intentions for you for 2026. This isn't about you overhauling your life, becoming a brand new person, because everyone has got different things going on in their lives at different points, particularly for single parents. So I want to remind you, don't focus on others and what their goals are and what they're planning on achieving. Focus in on you and where you are right now, and help set yourself some intentions that work for you. The ones I've spoken through today, which are practicing positive self-talk, setting boundaries and sticking to them, prioritizing rest without apology, asking for and accepting help, creating space for joy, and focusing on what you can control. These are all just some intentions. You may want to try them all, or maybe you just want to pick one that can be your intention for 2026. Everyone's different, everyone's on their own journey. Focus in on you and do not compare yourself to others. And remember, you don't need to do anything perfectly. You are already enough. Every bedtime story, every hard conversation, every day that you get through, you are showing up, and that counts. Embracing just some or all of these intentions with consistency, it can help you build a kind of stability and self-confidence that can transform your life. It's the small moments that matter, and it's in these small moments when no one else is looking that you use these intentions that can really help you move forward and make 2026 your year. And remember, you do not need to overhaul your life alone. You deserve to feel clear, confidence, and balance in amongst all the beautiful chaos that is single parenting. If you want a helping hand to get you to where you want to be, because you know you don't want to be where you are right now this time next year, check out my website. It's sudderscoaching.com, and see how I work with single parents on a one-to-one coaching basis to help them get to and achieve the goals that they really want. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. You've given yourself this time for you to think about your year ahead and what intentions you want to set. Give yourself a moment now to thank yourself for even doing that. You're already taking steps in the right direction. And if you have enjoyed this episode, I ask one thing: if you could share with anyone who you think might also find it interesting too. Thank you so much again for listening to this week's episode, and looking forward to catching up again next week.